Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
Changes could be coming within the upper ranks of Michigan State University. The Detroit Free Press was the first to report school president Samuel Stanley Jr. could be on the way out.
Sources say the board gave Stanley a Tuesday deadline to resign or face the chance of being fired. Victor Williams joins us now live tonight. And Victor, we know that this all comes less than a year after Stanley signed a new contract.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And we are just 11 days into the new academic school year, and we're being told that the president's job may now be in jeopardy. MSU's president may be facing one strong ultimatum: resign or be fired. According to the Detroit Free Press, sources are claiming the board is giving Samuel Stanley Jr. until Tuesday to step down. This controversy happening following dissatisfaction on how the president handled the Sanjay Gupta investigation, the dean of the Broad College of Business School, who suddenly resigned in August. Another issue at the center of it all: internal investigations and reporting requirements, especially when sexual misconduct is uncovered. Sources insist if President Stanley does not agree to step down, he'll be fired instead. If Stanley agrees and does indeed step down, this will make him the third major school official to be forced out of their position at MSU surrounding sexual misconduct at the university. The same thing happened to former university president Lou Anna Simon back in January of 2018 surrounding the Larry Nassar scandal. Nassar himself was a team doctor found guilty of sexually assaulting countless female athletes. Turns out, several complaints were made, but for some reason, those cries for help were unanswered. John Engler, who was Simon's successor as interim president, ultimately resigned as well due to the backlash of how the school handled that incident, and was even accused of making inappropriate comments about Nassar's victims. Back to the present, if President Stanley steps down, he will become the second state university president out of a job within a year, with U of M President Mark Schlizzle being fired for what the school calls an inappropriate relationship with a subordinate coworker. Sources also say if President Stanley is able to resign, MSU has a contractual obligation to pay him a year's worth of his salary, which is right at $960,000. That all changes if he's fired, where ultimately he'll receive nothing. And the only way that Stanley can be fired is through a public vote, and we know that the next scheduled board meeting is going to be on October the 28th, but there can be a special meeting held at any time. We did try meeting up and talking to some of those members on the Board of Trustees, and at this point in time, no one was available for comment. Victor Williams, Local 4.
All right, we'll be following it. Thank you, Victor. Time now for a check of the weather, as there was off again, on again rain across our area today.
Pretty dry out there. Now, Brian joins us with a look at how long this wet weather is going to stick around, maybe green things up a little bit.
Yeah, Rod and Sandra, I think we're going to keep the rain showers around. As you saw from Victor Williams' live shot, he had that umbrella up, as we do have a few showers right now on Exact Track 40, right over downtown Detroit, over Warren, working over toward Novi, and then down to the southwest of Ann Arbor, and then to the west of Howell. All of these working off to the north and east, so if you're dry for now, you will see a little rain activity as we head throughout the rest of our evening and overnight hours tonight. 69 degrees right now here in Detroit, 67 in Ann Arbor, 68 working into Port Huron, and 67 right now working into Adrian. Plenty of rain moving off to the south and then pivoting around off to the north and west around our area of low pressure. That is near Chicago this evening. I think that'll keep us on the active side of things as we head throughout the day, but I'm not going to call Monday a complete washout. We're into the 60s early, 70s into the afternoon. We will see a little bit of late day sunshine before more rain's on the way by Tuesday. Details on when the rain gets out of here for the rest of the week in your full forewarn forecast, that's coming up in just a few minutes. And don't forget to download that forewarn weather app. With the rain around, get interactive radar and weather alerts in the palm of your hand. It's free, and you can search WDIV in your favorite app store, the Google Play Store, or the Apple App Store.
It was a somber day, of course, for the many of us here in the United States. Today marks 21 years since the terror attacks on the United States on 9/11.
Remembrance ceremonies took place all across the country today to commemorate the day America was attacked by terrorists. In New York City today, a moment of silence observed to commemorate the exact time when the first plane struck the North Tower of the World Trade Center. It was at 8:46 a.m. that al-Qaeda terrorists slammed Flight 11 into the North Tower, which began the attacks, as planes also crashed into the Pentagon and a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. While speaking at the Pentagon, President Biden shared what he sees as the greatest lesson learned from 9/11.
We regain the light by reaching out to one another and finding something all too rare, a true sense of national unity. To me, that's the greatest lesson of September 11.
Howard Lee Kane.
Also at Ground Zero today, the somber tradition of reading the names of all of the victims.
Well, for 3 days now, many in Britain have mourned, reflected on, and adjusted to the absence of Queen Elizabeth II.
And today, the world got the first glimpse of her oak coffin as the monarch of 7 decades began her final journey from Balmoral to London. Jay Gray has the details from England.
Good evening. Queen Elizabeth at rest tonight inside her official Scottish residence, the palace at Holyrood House, after what her son, now King Charles III, called her last great journey. Her casket draped by the Scottish flag and a wreath made from her favorite plants at Balmoral, her cherished summer home where she passed away, and today she left for the last time. Winding through towns and villages in the Scottish Highlands, the journey lined by tens of thousands, drawn to say one last goodbye. As the cortege turned south toward Edinburgh, drivers even stopped along the motorway to pay their last respects. Tonight, private goodbyes will come from the staff at Holyrood, many who have been with her for decades. Tomorrow, the public mourning begins, a procession to St. Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh, where she will lie in state for 24 hours, a constant vigil open to the public. Tuesday, the Royal Air Force will accompany the Queen on her final flight here to London, where the meticulously planned royal process of saying goodbye will continue through her funeral on the 19th. In London, I'm Jay Gray. Back to you now.
A family tragedy in Walled Lake after police say a man shot and killed his wife and injured their daughter. It happened around 4 o'clock this morning at their home in Glenwood Court. When police arrived, they say 53-year-old Igor Atlantis came outside of the home with a shotgun and fired at them. They fired back, killing the man. The 56-year-old wife and family's dog died from their injuries. Their 25-year-old daughter remains in the hospital. We're told that this is the very first police shooting for Walled Lake Police Department.
Detroit police investigating a shooting on the city's west side. It happened right around 6 tonight on Lindsay Street near 7 Mile and the Southfield Freeway. We're being told that a man was shot after some type of argument. We do have calls into police trying to find out more details and also trying to get an update on the victim's condition.
Well, it's back to school tomorrow for students at Eastern Michigan University, but the question remains how many of the striking professors will show up. Last week, a judge denied a request to force EMU faculty back into that classrooms, but about 500 members of the union went on strike last Wednesday after not agreeing to a contract. Right now, the university is still urging all students to attend classes as scheduled, but a lot of them have been canceled. A hearing is set for 9 a.m. on Friday.
We have an update for you now to a story we first brought you tonight at 6 West Jefferson, back open after a water main break there has now been fixed. However, some folks do still remain under a boil water advisory. This affects folks living on West Jefferson from Dawn Marie to the BP gas station. That advisory will stay in effect until water testing is finally complete. Today, Ford Field welcomed back football fans for the Lions season opener against the Eagles.
And before the game, dozens of fans gathered at Eastern Market this morning for a day of tailgating before the big first game. There has never been a first week matchup between the two teams in their series history. Unfortunately, though, as tends to happen, the Lions lost today, but it was an exciting finish. I'll have all the full highlights coming up on Sports Final Edition.